Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a Thursday night throwdown presented to you by the Sideline Junkies. It's me, it's the big guy KG sitting in with the incomparable, the undefeated, the undeniable. Some of you may know him as Fatso Calrissian. We call him the Midnight Rider, but today he is the birthday boy. Happy birthday, brother. I've been saving this all day.
There's some research. That's right.
Believe me. I've been saving this.
Also, the Fat Poet 10 on Twitter.
See, he does it all. Multitasker. And he calls himself the best passer in DC. If he's the best passer in DC, I became the best passer in Maryland. So there it is. Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you, man. Beautiful day, man.
It is.
A lot of fun today, man.
And I will tell you this. I told you this off air, and I'm going to add a little bit to it. You know, there's a seat open for you. We told you that the first time you came on. There was a seat open. And, you know, now we got to get you your own desk in the office. You know, you got your own office. Now we got to start moving your furniture in and get your name on the door. Because, you know, we just behind right now. We trying to keep the lights on, but we just behind. But you have been a shot in the arm since you joined us. And your insight, the topics that you cover, dude, we happy to have you. We happy to work alongside with you. We happy to bring you into the fold, bring you into the family. And you do realize it's like the mafia. You can't leave. So
right. I'm down with that.
First and foremost, on your birthday, how you feeling?
Good, man. Beautiful day. Walked into work. They had to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Today, you know, on speaker, all about the Benjamins is my walk-up music. So I have walk-up music like maybe 3 days out of the week. So today I had to give it to them. It's the 19th. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So yeah, that's all it was, man.
I thought I was the only person that did walk-up music. Shoot, all right, that's cool.
Dude, dude, it was worse. So I had to work at Dulles one time for Enterprise. I was there for like a year and a half, and I hated that assignment so much. Like I would get out of my car. My song on the toll road was Eminem, "The Way I Am," with passion. Like I was feeling all parts of those lyrics. Got in the parking lot, and my boy used to tell me,
Uh-oh.
There you go. Is that good?
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Yeah, he said you walk in like it's wrestling. You get out your car, you pop your water, you give him the Triple H, and he just comes strolling down the walkway. So yeah, always, baby.
Man, it ain't nothing like it in the world because you got to get in that mindset to get that work done. So I feel you 1,000% because I do the same.
I gotta get that 8. I think yesterday I gave him old school. I gave him
we having a little technical difficulty here. I don't know what's going on. The Midnight Rider is frozen.
There we go. That's that.
There you go.
I don't know what's going on. Like it's starting to just keep jumping off.
There you go. It went again.
One more time.
It went again. Is it me or you?
It's me. Like okay. For some reason my internet wants to jump between Xfinity and the actual thing that I got here. So I apologize.
That's all good.
What was I saying? So I hit him the first day of the week with Sam Cooke. Change gonna come.
Yeah. When you pull out the Sam Cooke, yeah. See, I ain't even gonna mess with you. I'm not messing with you tonight, man.
Go ahead, man. All right.
I ain't messing with you. We're gonna jump into this thing first and foremost. What's going on to you, Justin Long? How you feeling? Thank you for joining us tonight. First topic: John Wall's comments about the 2017 Wizards. His comments, what he said, and I quote: John Wall claims the 16-17 Wizards could have beat LeBron's Cavs. Whew. That's a lot to be said. Now, the Wizards that season were 49-33. They won the Southeast Division. That's their first division title since 1979. Scott Brooks is your head coach because they had fired Randy Whitman. Ernie Grunfeld, your general manager. Now the roster that was compiled, okay. They didn't have a pick in the 2016 draft. They traded both picks prior to the draft. Bradley Beal, Bogdanovich, Bohan Bogdanovich, Trey Burke, I'm sorry, Gortat, Brandon Jennings, Mahimi, Sheldon McLennan, Chris McCullough, Markieff Morris, Kelly Oubre, Otto Porter, Thomas Sandaransky, Jason Smith, John Wall were your team. Okay. Now you're talking about beating a Cleveland team. Now they were the number 4 team. They were the number 4 team in the Eastern Conference that year. You lost in a 7-game series that year to the Boston Celtics, but you said you could beat LeBron's Cavs that year. And for dexterity here, the Cavs were coached by Tyronn Lue. They were 51-31, second in the Eastern Conference, first in the Central Division. LeBron had Kay Felder, Channing Frye, Kyrie Irving, himself, Richard Jefferson, Dante Jones, James Jones, Kyle Korver, Kevin Love, Amon Shumpert, J.R. Smith, Walter Tavares, Tristan Thompson, Deron Williams, and Derek Williams. And you're telling me that the Wiz Kids of 2016, 2017 could have beat this LeBron-led team?
Hold on, did you say Deron Williams?
Derek Williams and Deron Williams, yes.
Illinois, Deron Williams.
Yes.
What was he on then? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, because that's my guy.
I get that. But
I don't remember him on that squad.
I don't either. I don't. But and now this is a squad that lost. They coming off the championship in 16. They lost to the Warriors 4-1. But you couldn't get past Boston. But you claim you could have got past LeBron them.
Well, hey, he's supposed to say that. You're supposed to believe in yourself.
Yeah, but it's a thin line between believing in yourself and hallucinating.
Yeah, but we live on that thin line all the time. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing about being an athlete. You're blind to the thin line. That's plain and simple. I'm trying to think because Trey Burke is one of those guys that he would have these nights where he would actually be the Trey Burke from Michigan. And then he'd show you something, and then he'd disappear for a couple of weeks. 49 wins. That's the most wins this team has had since 1978, I think, or 1979.
But see that team right there, the way that team was constructed, I want to say that's one of the years that I told BJ that this is a 50-win team, and I told him I was like, they're a 50-win team.
They should have won 50.
Yeah. And they had a chance to, I think, the last 4 or 5 games of the regular season, and they won 1 out of like 4.
Right.
And Justin, we doing good, man. We doing good. And that's a good point. I agree. You know, it's a thin line between hallucination and believing in yourself.
Hey, Justin, if you got a question, man, throw it in the thing, and we'll answer your question as well, man.
Any questions? And you had Bogdanovich, and you let him go.
And he cost you
one of the Bogdanovich, huh?
He cost you a first-round pick, I think.
Yeah.
So when I think of that team, I think that's the microcosm of DC sports. Like, we always have this thing where we always talk about coulda, shoulda, woulda, and not what we did. Like, they talk about the Taylor Heineke game as if we won the ball game, but we didn't. You lost. You just had a good performance by a kid you pulled off the street or off a sofa 2 months ago. In this team's case, you had a team that underachieved a little bit because they should have had 50 wins. And they're playing that guessing game because they don't. It's like it's something about this city, not the city, but this teams that they don't always come through in the clutch. It's nerve wracking. It's frustrating.
This team at the end of March 28th, this team was 46-28 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games to go. You were 46-28, and you lost 1, 2, 3,
He was 3 and 6,
4, 5.
Mm.
You won 3 games out of 8, and that's what I'm saying. They were bad down the stretch. You know, they lost to the Clippers, lost to Utah, lost to Golden State, lost to Miami, and then you lost to Miami again the last game of the season. Looking at this team did not match up well on paper with LeBron's Cavs. And the Cavs weren't even at full strength when they were out there in there. They weren't at full strength when they were in the finals.
So this is the 16 Wiz. Okay, so that's 2 years. Okay, so that's 2 years after the Paul Pierce I call bank team.
Yeah, which should have been had a deeper run as well.
And actually, I think that's one mistake they made was not bringing Pierce back.
Excuse me, I almost choked on my Welch's grape juice here. He didn't want to come back.
Oh, that's a problem too.
But he thought he was going to go on a farewell tour.
Oh,
and Draymond. I don't like Draymond Green all the time, but I love Draymond Green there. And when we were talking off air, Draymond Green is the epitome of why I love basketball, because he may not do everything that's flashy, but he does what's needed.
Mm-hmm.
But when he told Paul Pierce, "Oh, you thought they was gonna give you a farewell like Kobe? They don't love you like that.
They don't love you like that."
Absolutely love it. And
greatest line ever.
Ever since then, what does Paul Pierce do? He elevates what he did in his career even higher than what he did, and it wasn't that good. Hall of Fame career, yes. Was he the truth? Yes. But I remember those years before Garnett and Allen.
Well, then he was running with Antoine.
And him and Antoine should have went deep, but they never put anything around.
No, that team just they was just bad all the time. It just didn't work.
Antoine Walker was the star of that team. He was the star of that team.
I feel like I'm about to shimmy.
I used to love that. I used to love that.
I didn't really like him that much, but I like the shimmy.
And he used to have this move where he'd get you on the baseline. Antoine Walker, to be 6'10", had handles, man. He would do the hands up. So he'd get you the hands up. You'd be like, oh, shoot. Oh, damn, he went around me. I loved it. I loved that move.
Nobody's move is better than the Steve Smith.
Dominique Wilkins.
Nah, the Steve, when you fake like you're going back up top and you drop step and go around, oh, baby. The Smitty.
Dominique Wilkins on the wing. He dribble and go by you. But anyway.
So back to Wall and this team. There's another thing he talked about in this interview too, where he was talking about the 2 kids that are in Houston. What's his name? Porter and is it Green? Jalen Green? No, yeah.
Was that who?
He said that those 2 kids couldn't play anywhere else in the NBA besides Houston. And it's because of their shot selection. He's like, you're used to losing and you're playing like it. You couldn't go anywhere else and play.
But here's a question. And I'm not dogging anybody's career because I think John Wall is still one of my favorite point guards. I know he's one of my favorite point guards. I think he's one of the best point guards to ever play this game in this era. Because what he was able to do when he's healthy. He's a hot commodity. I love the way he goes. But for you to say somebody's used to losing, what have you won?
Yeah, but I think what he's talking about is the mentality that these kids have. Like, I think he's concerned because they're growing comfortable with losing. That's a hard thing to do. If you're a competitor, there's one thing to compete night in, night out. There's another thing to you're just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part. That's the part where you just waking up. That paycheck still hit, whether you win or you lose. But the unfortunate part is they don't have a veteran that wants to be there. They got Eric Gordon that they're holding hostage. Eric Gordon should be on a contender right now. And for some reason, they haven't moved him. They're giving them the same treatment they gave John Wall. And I'm starting to feel like Houston's one of those franchises that used to be great, but all of a sudden now they're being poorly run. And what they're going to have in the next 2 to 3 years is they're going to have about 15 kids, nobody over 25, and they're just going to still, no matter how much talent you put in that team, then because the way they play basketball, they can't be good. They won't be good. And that's the disappointing part about this is they will have a collection of talent that might be immense. It will be immense because they've been drafting 1, 2, and 3 the last couple of years, and then they're probably going to draft high again next year. And all it's going to do is they're going to just go in, and it's going to be like it's going to be like a septic tank. It's just going to be a bunch of all around, and that all you're going to get is in return because they just don't care enough, and they don't have the professionalism to make it better. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Here's my question to you. John Wall made these statements. He also made some statements about coming down to North Carolina, your Tar Heels, and why he didn't come.
Oh, because of Captain YMCA?
Yeah, because of Tyler Hansborough.
No, Captain YMCA.
Why you call him Captain YMCA? Please explain that one.
He'll be the last dude. If Tyler Hansborough walks into a gym right now or back then, and there was a bunch of people playing basketball, he'd be the last dude taken.
Damn.
That's why I call him Captain YMCA.
But
I mean, you look at him, you don't think he's an athlete. He hustles. Like he gives you all the intangibles of basketball. But you wouldn't, unless you knew who he was, you're like, yo, that's just a big white dude. No offense.
Yeah. But you know, that whole Psycho T, and I noticed this, that whole Psycho T thing, it went out the window when he tried to get Buck and he turned around and he saw Meta World Peace.
There you go.
And his eyes got big, and he was never the same after that. He didn't strike the fear in anybody else like that because Ron Artest just looked at him. And you sitting there saying you saw how to stare back at him. What's good?
But he doesn't. But it wasn't that. It was just he was all hustle. And I thought he was one of the worst college players of the year that I ever saw. Because he got his 20 points, he got his 10 points, but like college basketball was the perfect setting for Psycho T. And I knew the second he got in the league, he'd be the 7th or 8th best player on the team. I called it. Everybody that asked me, anybody that knew me, I was like, yo, he's the 7th or 8th best team on any NBA team. I'm sorry, 7th or 8th best player on any NBA team.
Here's my thing. Wasn't he was the NCAA champion, college player of the year,
yep,
3-time All-American,
yep,
freshman of the year, ACC player of the year,
yep,
first team All ACC rookie of the year,
yep,
ACC tournament MVP,
yep,
got the number 50. I thought he was most outstanding player in 2009 as well.
I thought he won one of those awards, but
I thought he did. He has all these accolades, and his NBA career lasted from 2009 to 2016. So he's going to get a pension. And then after that, Fort Wayne Mad Ants, Guangzhou Long Lions, Zhang Golden Bulls. He's playing overseas now. He's still playing too.
Yeah, but he is, like I keep saying it, he was just a hustle guy. We talked about this even in our pre-show, like how we played when we were you would just go get the rebounds and get the ball. Well, his thing was, in college, it worked because he could get the rebound and still at least get the layup and still get the score because he was more aggressive than everybody else. Now, when you get in the league and you get Instead of teams having 2 or 3 good players, now you got 5 good players on the floor and 10 good players on the bench. He just falls down the pipeline so quickly and so easily, and everybody just thought I was hating. There's 2 people that everybody thought I hated. Him and Tim Tebow. And I told people about Tim Tebow. Tebow, hey, he's a good quarterback in college, but he's on. When you look down the line and you got Percy Harvin, Aaron Hernandez, and on their defense you got you got 7 guys that's going pro. You can't help but be a good team. You can't help it. And then when he gets in the pros, he has that magical carpet ride, kind of like Todd Collins, where like the last 6 games, like the shit that could, like the one thing that could go wrong always went wrong for the other team. And he won 5 in a row and then got in the playoffs and threw the one slant to Demaryius Thomas.
And then what happened? They ran into a buzzsaw that was New England.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that. Everybody knew they weren't getting past New England.
Like, I
get it. Right. I get it. But John Wall said that Tyler Hansbrough dismissed him. He went on his recruiting visit to North Carolina. He said that Tyler Hansbrough, he spoke to him and he was like, I don't talk to recruits. And Tyler Hansbrough has denied that since that's come out. But back to this whole,
who cares?
It's done. What's done is done.
But even if you say he doesn't talk to recruits, if that's really where you want to go, who cares about him?
Yeah. But
because who else was there as a guard? Like, I can't even think about the guards at that time. Maybe it was Ty Lawson?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Ty Lawson was the guard there. So if you really wanted to go there,
go.
And that's the quickest backcourt in the NBA in the NCAA at that time.
Yeah.
Easily.
Nobody could fly before.
Straight
three guards that I think are the fastest guards to ever play in the game. John Wall, Derrick Rose, Ty Lawson. I've never seen nobody fly up the floor with the ball, not without the ball, with the ball. I've never seen nobody go like that.
We got cheated with Derrick Rose.
Yes.
We got cheated.
Yes.
Between Derrick Rose and Grant Hill's ankle, the world got cheated. That's a whole nother show. Isn't it? Content.
Yeah. Because
this is watching. That's what I mean by content.
Oh, because we can go on about that because I got a few more names to add to that, but we can make a starting 5 of the what ifs. But anyway,
whole new show.
John Wall, you tripping, bro. Y'all, that 2016-2017 Wizards team would not have beat LeBron's 2016-2017 Cavs.
But the sad thing about it is that team's window was 2014 to 2018? And then they've been in purgatory since?
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. So, moving on. Wait.
So, no, because I know we're about to go to football.
Yeah.
But in between, because we only got we're probably going to do like a minute in between. The Nationals haven't signed anybody. So, there's your update. Nationals, we're good. We're keeping Jamilio Caldero. We got Corey Dickerson. We got Joey Meneses. So, we're good, guys. Hey. So, what I'm going to do is I'm already planning the parade we win the World Series because Joey Meneses is going to have 35 home runs. Corey Dickerson is going to have 20. Victor Robles is going to have a career year. Strasburg is actually going to pitch this year because the sun's going to shine and like somebody's, you know what? I'm going to go down. I'm going to heal him. I'm going to put my hands on him. I'm going to pray for him. I'm going to pray for his shoulder. And boom, we're going to become contenders right away.
There you have it. When they win the World Series,
and the other news is that I think I said this before, but the Nats probably won't get sold.
Yeah.
Yay! This is beautiful. Now we keep the learners. Cheap asses. Okay.
Oh man. Moving on to football. This Saturday, the Jaguars take on the Chiefs Saturday at 4:30. The line for said game, 8.5-point favorites are the Jaguars. Over-under is 52.5. Midnight Rider. I mean, I think this is a no-brainer. All I need to know is will the Chiefs cover?
Oh, I'm sorry. This game right here, it touches my scouting skills in a very special place because I'm a strong arm QB guy, and we got 2 guns. These ain't 22s. These the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? These the specials. So watching this game for me, just from a throwing platform basis, that's a little nerdy, and I apologize. But watching these guys throw from different platforms on the field is going to be special because Trevor can throw it, Pat can throw it. Your question was, will they cover? No. I think the Jags offense is going to give them just enough. And I think last week gave them confidence. And if they can carry that confidence over, they'll at least be in the game. Their defense will keep them in the game. But if you, once February hits, March hits, find out what the totals are for the Jags next year, take the over. Because the Jags got 4 linebackers all under like 26 years old. And they all played this year. They're going to be special next year. So the Jags going to make kind of like a pass into the guard. That young guy, it's kind of like wrestling with a young guy. Wrestles the vet, but he gives him a real good match that you weren't expecting. He loses, but he still holds his respect because he lost to a guy that's already ascending. And that's what this is. Uh-oh. Is that me or you? I don't have any sound.
That was me. Mute button 1 tonight. Mute button 1 mean nothing. Damon Young says, I got the Chiefs, Eagles, Buffalo, and 49ers this weekend. And and the Jags will be a problem next year. I agree.
See, he already listening to me. See,
I agree.
He knows what's good. You know what I'm saying? I try to teach the young fella, even though he's older than me. I try to raise him right. You know what I'm saying?
But I do agree. I'm afraid for the Chiefs, but I'm looking at it like this. And I know if the boss BJ wasn't on special assignment tonight, he'll say the same thing. I want to see Buffalo, even though that we'll cover that Sunday morning. I want to see Buffalo beat Cincinnati. Number 1. That's number 1. Number 2, I need Kansas City to beat the Jaguars because I know Buffalo does not want to skirt around Kansas City. They want revenge for what happened last year. And I can taste the revenge, and I'm not even a Bills fan, but I want revenge for the Bills. And this would be the Cinderella story that's needed, where the Bills just keep pulling out these cardiac games. They get to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's in Vegas. And it all comes down to a 47-yard kick.
The Jags have had 2 runs. And in both of those runs, they've had this improbable win in the division series. And that's the only reason I got them covering. It's because the Jags history showed us that they can get in the playoffs, make some noise. Like they should, barring a comeback by Tom Brady with Blake Bortles at the helm, they could have gone to the Super Bowl that year. And then they lost to the Broncos with Mark Brunell and company.
So they beat the Broncos.
So they lost to somebody after that.
They beat the Broncos. I think they lost to, what was that? That was 96.
Maybe that was Pittsburgh.
No, 96. They lost to the Patriots.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me double check. Because the Patriots went to Super Bowl in 96, 1996.
So then that's 2 times they lost to the Patriots. So the Patriots are the only reason the Jags haven't made the Super Bowl. And this team has the capability to make a run. They have enough that if they catch you on the right day and you're not having a good day, they can win the ball game.
Yeah. And now that 96 Jaguars team was a wild card team, 9-7.
Yep.
And they were in the AFC Central at the time. This was before expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Before second expansion with the addition of help me out. Yeah, the Texans. They beat the Bills in the wild card playoffs, 30-27. They beat the Broncos in the divisional, 30-27. Same exact score. And both of these were on the road.
Right.
They lost to the Patriots on the road 20-6.
Yep.
This team was, now mind you, this team was put this on their second year. This team was put together through the draft and free agency.
Yep.
You had Kevin Hardy in the draft, first round pick, second round pick, Tony Brackens, 2 of my favorite players.
You looking at the thing, Kevin Hardy, Illinois?
Kevin Hardy was out of the University of Illinois.
Okay. Sorry, that's a weird thing I have.
No.
Weird gift I have. I'm sorry.
I'm good with that because look, I can't remember everything. Tom McManus, another good one. Their running backs were James Stewart, Natron Refried Means. Quarterbacks, Mark Brunell and Rob Johnson, Reggie Barlow. Of course, you had Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith, who I thought at the time were the best 1-2 combo in the league.
Hold up. This is bonus round for me because I feel like I got this one. James Stewart, Tennessee.
You got that right. Okay.
All right.
Damn, let's not even pull that out. Let's not even pull out no trivia for colleges, man. Nah. And this team was, in my opinion, for this era of time, this team was stacked. Defensively, they had
in the middle. The kid from Tennessee, the big guy that was like 6'8", and then they had John Henderson, and then they had Marcus Stroud.
Nope. That's
the next team. Okay, all right, cool.
That was the next big team. They had Clyde Simmons, Kevin Pritchard, Ernie Logan, Jeff Lagerman, Paul Fraze, Tony Brackens, of course, Don Davey. Yeah,
Jeff Lagerman. I'm not going to do it. All right, keep going. I know it, but I'm going to let you keep going.
In the secondary, they had Aaron Beasley, who was a rookie, Bucky Brooks, Dana Hall, former 49er,
University of Washington,
Mickey Washington, Darren Studstill, Robert Massey, Chris Hudson,
Darren Studstill, University of West Virginia.
Jeez, this kid, he's on fire, on damn fire. But they also had Dave Thomas on IR that year.
Well, the story about Darren Studstill, not to cut you off, and this is last time I do this. Studstill was a quarterback at West Virginia. I forgot who they lost to, and then he started receiving death threats through the mail from the people of West Virginia. Yeah, and then of course when he gets drafted, I think he played for the Cowboys. I know he played for Jacksonville. I can't remember who else he played for, but he got switched to corner because he definitely wasn't an NFL quarterback. All right, that's the end of my trivia for the night.
Cowboys, Jets, Jaguars, London Monarchs. So he took the Woody Dantzler role because Woody Dantzler was a quarterback at Clemson.
Yes, sir.
So we say all that to say the Jacksonville Jaguars have history on their side. And then that year, what was that? 2000. I'm gonna have to go through that. Hold on, let me go through that next
2000 years, the year that Fournette makes the big run in overtime against the Steelers. And I think that was like 45-42 or something crazy like that.
But what's absolutely mind-boggling, they've had more than just two runs. They had runs with Mark Brunell. They had runs with David Garrard. They've had runs with Byron Leftwich.
But they always built the same. They always built off of their defense, and then their offense does just enough and doesn't make the mistakes. And they always have a power running game. So you have your Stewarts, your Fred Taylor.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Fred Taylor out of Florida. See, I know that one because I watched Fred Taylor at Florida. The boss BJ chimes in, Jags winning the division again next year. And they have Calvin Ridley next year. Hopefully he gets reinstated.
He should. I mean, most time the NFL doesn't do anything with that type of stuff.
And I'm just looking at, what is this? This is 98 Jacksonville. That's when they drafted Fred Taylor. They got Donovan Darius.
Syracuse.
Yeah. They got Jonathan Quinn, Tavian Banks, who I thought was going to be force in this league. Shows how much I know. This is why I don't scout running backs again. Alvis Whitted. They had Mark Brunell still as a starting quarterback. Who else? Reggie Barlow, Keenan McCardell, Jimmy Smith. I just always feel bad that Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith never won it. They got Super Bowl rings individually. I think Jimmy Smith did get a Super Bowl ring with the Cowboys. But
who's that?
He got Jimmy Smith, he got 2 Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys.
Didn't McCardell get one with Tampa?
No, McCardell, he got 2. McCardell got one with Tampa and one with Washington. Both of them have 2 Super Bowl rings. So,
and Keenan McCardell went to UNLV, but I ain't gonna say that.
But I'm hoping, and Justin, you from England, bro, keep listening. We on every Saturday night, Sunday morning, all Eastern Standard Times, Tuesday and Thursday. So just go ahead, hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss a episode, and just keep coming back, man. We love having you. Appreciate it. I'm taking the Jaguars in this one. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And the Chiefs will cover that 8.5.
Okay. The 52.5? I think
I'm taking the under.
Okay.
I'm taking the under. Next game, Giants versus Eagles in Philly. Philly 7.5 point favorites, 48.5 over under. Midnight Rider, take it away.
Ooh. I want to say Giants. You know what? I'm gonna go there. Yeah, I'm gonna put my big boy pants. I'm gonna take the Giants in this one. Because I feel like whenever the Giants are 9-7 and they enter the playoffs as a wild card, they have this magic or this thing that they make runs. Dexter Lawrence has played like a madman. Hopefully, Kayvon Thibodeau is back. And I just think the way they scheme up defensively to get free rushes to the quarterback, I just don't see a place or a reason why this team can't come into Philly and walk out with a winner. We're going to hit the over just because it's going to be like a 31-24 type of ball game. I like Philly's weapons. I like A.J. Brown and company. I think their running game, this is a game where I think Miles Sanders has to be a beast. He has to step out and like really carry the load. And if he doesn't, then they're in all sorts of problems. And I think just because of what New York does in passing situations with their rush, I just think they got a chance, man. And I'm gonna take it because I think Danny Dimes, Dayball, and Saquon Barkley are gonna get it done. So I'm taking the Giants outright, and I'm taking the over. Like if we had a siren, that would be like the upset, special alert, whatever. Because no way, I'm gonna let you know right now. Before you passed it to me, that was not my train of thought.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm looking at the Giants, and when the Giants are anything like 12-4, 11-5, they're shit in the playoffs. When they won the Super Bowl, they were 10-6, and they came in, they won the Super Bowl. That was 2006.
So that first one, Washington plays them like week 5 or week 6. I don't remember exactly when, and we let them off the hook. And Santana Moss drops a pass late in that game that would kept the drive going. And then I think they beat us either in overtime or on a late kick. And then that's when they got going because they were actually talking about firing Coughlin in that season. And then boom, they got hot. Mm-hmm. And then the rest is history. And then they turn around and do the same thing when they beat the Patriots. Was that 2007? 2008?
That was 2006. And then they beat them again in 2007. And they were 9-7. Won the division in 9-7, right? Mm-hmm. Tom Coughlin, one of my favorite coaches, former coach of Jacksonville, who we were just talking about, go into the wild card. They host the Falcons, beat the Falcons 24-2. Go on the road, beat the Packers 37-20. Now this is 2011. NFC Championship game out in San Francisco. They beat the 49ers again in the NFC Championship game 20-17. It seemed like they always beat San Fran with a kick to go to Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then they beat the Patriots 21-17. And I believe 2011 was the helmet catch.
All right, that's right.
Because Plexico Burress was 2006. Well, before that, Mario Manningham's deep 7 and the toe tap. That was some elite passing by Elijah Manning. And then he had the courage to throw that fade to Plexico Burress for the touchdown. The boss BJ chimed in and he said, I think the Giants are going to clip him. I think so too. And
are you going to pick it? Are you going to pick it?
I'm going to go ahead and pick it. Because here's the thing. It's not that I don't believe in Philly, but Philly slip is shown. You show you can move the offense without Jalen Hurts, right? But you can't win the game. Jalen Hurts, contrary to popular belief and people talking about he shouldn't have been, he shouldn't be MVP. He shouldn't, it's the team, it's not him. Kill that noise. Because Jalen Hurts is the straw that stirs the drink. Shout out to Reggie Jackson. But you cannot say unequivocally and with all the confidence in the world that this Philly team is just as strong as they were the first 11 weeks of the season. When they were having fun. Yeah, they done won games and Philly was looking good and, whoop-de-whoop and all that. Philly finished the season what? What did Philly finish? 14-3?
Right.
So, okay, 14-3. This is you'd have had a week off. That, all right? That week off may have been detrimental to Philly because they needed to get back in the swing of things. I would have preferred Philly to have played wild card weekend and come into this game with steam. But I'm going to take the Giants in this one. And what was the over-under? 48.5?
You got it.
I'm going to take the under on that one too. I think the Giant defense stones them, holds Philly in check. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a chance to win it late, and he's going to put on some heroics. But I think Daniel Jones is going to be a little too much because what does he do? He leads his team in rushing. But I think this will be the breakout game when everybody thinking Daniel Jones is going to be the guy when it comes to rushing. I think that Saquon Barkley is going to be your guy. I got Saquon Barkley running for 150 yards in this game and catching at least 70 yards out the backfield and receiving.
You better bet that. If you go to FanDuel, who gives us all our betting options and all our lines for our show, you can probably bet something like that. That's a big thing. He goes 150 and 70. That's 220 in total yards. Dog, that's probably easily plus 853, plus 900, easily with those two together.
And here's the thing. The reason why I say that,
just so you know, because you're in Maryland and Gamblers Live in Maryland. And if you're new to FanDuel, you'll get 150 for your first $5 bet. I'm sorry, I'm doing commercials now.
That's all right. Because I'm thinking about betting it because here's my thing. The reason why I say that.
But you can do alternate spreads. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can do alternate rushing total, alternate receiving totals for your running backs for certain players. So that's going to be a coup if you can pull that off.
I agree. Now here's my thing. And boss, if you still listening, tell me if you thinking the same way. You seen what Daniel Jones did last week. He ran for 78 yards. And you're thinking in your mind, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're looking at this tape. Okay, they run him on a lot of read option. I need to stick somebody with him. If I'm the offensive coordinator for the Giants, the first thing I'm thinking is, yeah, you ready for this? I'm going to have it loaded up, but I got a wrinkle for you. Just when you think he's about to take off around the corner, you got your man sitting there, Saquon going to sneak out the back door, and he going to run. He going to have at least 2 or 3 big runs against the Eagles. And when I say big runs, I'm talking 60 plus.
That's you gotta come back down some because you're saying you having 2 or 3 60-yard runs. Now you got him over 180 just from those 3 runs alone. So you gotta come.
Okay, well,
you gotta pull the trigger in a little bit.
when I say 2 or 3 big runs, it may be just 2 runs of 60 yards, but he's gonna not be the focal point because Daniel Jones is the focal point.
Okay.
And the boss BJ chimed in. The Eagles need to be ready to sub so their guys aren't tired. But I'm blitzing them. The boss BJ gonna blitz you regardless. Like this is the same dude we were talking about coaching Pee Wee, and he said, "Man, them kids ain't gonna have to have no kind of playbook." He said they're gonna get to the next level. Can I blitz now? No. Can I blitz now? No. Can I blitz now? Yes. That's all. Hey, pressure. Like the 96 Blizzard. Hey, I don't blame you. But the thing is, you have to be careful blitzing Daniel Jones because he's not the same dude that we used to seeing, he'll get up out of there. Even when he in trouble, he'll get up out of there. Daniel Jones is going to have himself a game, but I think Saquon's going to be the hero of the game to lead them to the NFC Championship game. So Give me the Giants.
Okay.
24-20. The Eagles fall short
So you
on
falling with the under.
Yeah, I said it was gonna be under. The Eagles fall short because of Jalen Hurts is gonna get the passes out there. He's gonna get the last pass out there, and it's gonna be caught inbounds, and they're gonna be just about to score, and it's gonna be a game-saving tackle.
Oh gosh, you going storybooks? You know they're trying to do like what's that? Ken Houston stopping
Garrison at the goal line.
There you go. Okay.
BJ says flush blitz. I want to control where he goes. Yeah, you that's what you want to do, and you can't do that with a spy. You can't just keep a spy on Daniel Jones because guess what? You keep a spy on Daniel Jones, you're taking a guy out of coverage. So if he doesn't run, you're taking a guy out of coverage, and he's just sitting there picking you apart. He makes shrewd decisions. So I can't wait for Saturday because if this comes true, I need to make sure I bet this on Friday night.
Yes, sir. Because you got some stuff out there, boy.
Look, if I get it right, man, that might be house money. Like I might be like, hey, and the boss BJ say you can spy, but if you spy on him, he doesn't run. You got a guy, and what's the kid? Hodgins. Is that what's his name? I can't think of his name.
Hodgins.
If he has a thing of getting open by the sticks.
I think it's Isaiah Hodgins, who actually was in Buffalo on their practice squad. They pulled 6 guys off of Buffalo's practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's why whenever people, especially Washington fans, they talk about the Carolina effect. Like you can't, like coaches always will pilfer somebody and bring somebody that they used to coach. Like I'll never forget my man Keith Byers used to always go wherever Parcells ended up. And Byers would play. Byers would play for Parcells. My all-time favorite is Greg Williams. Used to always have a spot for Virginia Tech's own Pearson Prelude. Prelude would always have a spot in his defense, no matter where he went. And like people don't understand, like when you're a coach, you have to be familiar or have some guy that you trust that's going to do what you ask him to do, no matter what you ask him at the time you ask him to do it. And I think the Giants got lucky because Daboll is able to hide their sores. He's able to cover up their weaknesses just with the little wrinkles that he throws in. And then boss BJ said it best. So he was like, I was watching the game. I didn't understand why it looked so familiar. Well, it looked familiar because he did the same, hand tricks that he was doing in Buffalo. He's doing it here. And he's actually making Danny Dimes look like a great quarterback. Now, here's the thing. The shift is going to be when they get him a top-notch wide receiver that can actually be a playmaker. Now, the second they get a playmaker on the outside to go along with Daniel Jones, then it becomes Diggs and Allen all over again. Now he's replicating what he had. And then with that defense, as long as Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, 2 of the most destructive guys up front, along with Kayvon Thibodeau, like this team has the potential to be so much better next year. It's going to be scary. Like the NFC East as a whole is going to be scary next year.
I can agree with that. And the boss BJ chimes in and says, you got to mix it up. You do. Your defense, you can't. Just same thing with the offense. When they pull out a wrinkle, you need to pull out a wrinkle. You need to be ready. And bonus points if you tell them what college Keith Byers went to.
Ohio State.
Oh, Lord. Ding, 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 ding. The kid's on fire. What's that, 7 for 7 tonight?
Come on, man. That's you got to find. And you know what? I'll give you a bonus one. This one I might be wrong on. I want to say Hodgins went to Iowa State.
Let's see. Hold on. Boom. What did you say?
Iowa State.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Boom, 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 boom. Oregon State.
Okay. All right.
Oregon State. I
was going off on that one. So that's
what we were looking for.
That was the ego. That was the ego kicking in on that one.
That's all right, because I think we got ourselves a new game. And like I always say, we coming up on Super Bowl. I'm saying it early this year. And the thing is, Super Bowl trivia, every show, the week of the Super Bowl, the week before the Super Bowl, and the day of when we do our Super Bowl show that morning. I want to do some trivia because the thing is, you remember Stump the Schwam?
Yeah.
I was the guy that I knew I could stump the Schwam because I knew more.
I don't know. I mean, the Schwab. When I watched that, I was like, all right, that he got me. I'm good.
Because he would say certain stuff, and before he would say it, I'd already be saying it. Now, this is pre-internet days.
Right.
Like, I was that confident, and I was like, yeah, I could be the guy to stump the Schwam. I could be that guy. But, I mean, man, I'm going to go ahead and work on my trivia questions now. I don't care who plays. And I wanted to give out money the last 2 years. I'm like, hey, come win this easy $10 if you think you know your Super Bowl stuff. It's all Super Bowl trivia. So if you think you know it, hey, jump in here. But anyhow, let's hit this last topic because it's a little somber. Jay Briscoe has passed away as it was announced day before yesterday. Passed away in a car accident in Delaware. His children were involved in the accident as well. I believe one of his daughters went into surgery on her back. His wife is asking for privacy as well as prayers. Man, I know we'll talk about it at length on Saturday night with the WrestleManiacs. And what's crazy is Jay Briscoe's birthday is next week, on the 25th.
That's
crazy.
It's tough. The one thing I felt like in this era of wrestling, there was the Bucks, the Briscoes, FTR, and the Usos. And then, you know what? I'll give a New Day entry into this group. That I just felt like they were kind of the pioneers of this. And I always wanted to see them in if some way, and you old enough to remember this probably, but they used to be like the Davy Crockett, well, not Davy Crockett, but the Crockett Cup back in the day that Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff won. And I used to always think about that. And I was like, if we had some kind of way where you can get all this global talent, and sumo, yes, I'm giving New Japan some credit because, obviously last year you said I didn't, but I don't remember that. But I'm gonna go with it because I might have been drinking. So, you get all these teams and just some kind of free for all and let them just go, and you actually figure out who may be the best tag team of this era of this generation. And I gotta give my boy Bernie a shout out because I know he's kind of close to the Briscoes because he's picked them up. When they've done stuff at MCW. So I know he's a little down off of this. But again, it's just a class guy, a good talent. Probably has some issues, with some things he may have said on Twitter or whatever. But I mean, from a pure wrestling talent standpoint, I mean, those guys were awesome. I know for a fact I used to stay up to catch ROH in the middle of the night sometimes and watch them just do their thing, man. What about you, man?
I knew about the Briscoes through the Nubian Sumo. Just like the Good Brothers, Gorillas of Destiny, all those guys, and Ring of Honor and New Japan and everything. And then, we always talk tag teams. And what's crazy is they're in the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. Him and his brother, Mark Briscoe. They're in the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame. And you think about it, you say, man, this dude's only what was he? 38? Mm-hmm. And you've built a career like this already. And I'm just like, man, how when the news came across, I'm like, what the hell happened? Now this is such big news, and the Briscoes are so respected in the industry. They said something on every show. AEW, WWE said something. I think NXT said something. It's just like, man, we lost a star.
Yeah, well, just to piggyback on what you said, so the New Day was supposed to bury something, like they were supposed to have a funeral for whether it was the Title Hopes or whatever it was from whatever tag team they're fighting right now in what you call it, and they took that off the air.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think the only reason you hear it now on WWE is because Triple H is in charge, and Triple H gives respect to the indies. I always had a thing where I felt like Vince didn't respect the indies enough, or respect like somebody that came over from WCW. So he always gave them a bullshit gimmick to try to get over, and if they got that over, then he would give them something else. But I mean, like Dusty and the Polka Dots, ridiculous, stupid. The Red Rooster, stupid. Like you just gave guys that had talent the worst gimmicks in the world, and then you just was like, all right, well, you couldn't make nothing happen with that. Well, who's gonna make the Red Rooster work?
The gobbledygooker.
Right. It's just stupid stuff. So, and then that's one of the things that I really have concern, and we talked about this on the WrestleManiacs, where I have concerns with this sale or possible sale, and like just who stays in charge of this, because the last 2 months or last 3 months when Triple H took the helm, the wrestling has been so different from when Vince was in charge. Like the show doesn't, it's like it's no drag. The show starts and it's hitting you right away. Boom. We're giving you whoever it is in the first segment. You know what I'm saying? We do some of the Teddy Long tag team setup. You know what I'm talking about, where somehow we end up with 4 people in the ring,
mm-hmm.
and it's like player. Come on, we're gonna have a tag team match tonight.
You going one-on-one with the Undertaker.
Right. Oh, whatever that is, you know. But there's still enough like tempo to the night that it doesn't feel like it's dragging on, and that's the one thing I give Trip credit for with this whole expansion, and that's why I hope he stays in charge for some way, because the guys that came back only came back because of Triple H.
That is true.
He would give them the opportunities that Vince would never give them.
That's true. And what's being said is that Triple H said creative will stay the same even after the sale. I mean, if you buy WWE, creative has to stay the same. So,
I mean, it'd be stupid if it didn't, but I mean, people have done worse.
I'm hoping in WCW. I'm hoping that they give Jay Briscoe, if they haven't already, I hope everybody gives him a 10-bell salute.
Right.
Because it's deserved.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about that more on Saturday. And I know that I've said my piece, so I cleared the way for the Nubian Sumo and the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. So I'll be mute on Saturday and listen to those guys.
Nah, you gotta get because it's gonna be different crowds. So you gotta give them still your flowers for him on Saturday too, man. You can't just leave it here at our feet. You gotta put it at everybody's feet so everybody can understand, smell the flowers, and understand the respect that you have for the man.
I agree. I'll take that and I'll run with that. So, wrapping it up.
29. We're gonna talk about 29,
bro.
The possibility of 29.
Bro,
I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend.
We can't even get through it. You've been at this for almost 2 weeks now, if not 2 weeks.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just asking a question. Because this is like kind of our rundown where we talk about local things sometimes that are going on. And I'm just trying to stay local, Georgetown. And
ain't Maryland playing somebody right now?
If it's on national TV, they're getting blown out.
Let me see. Maryland's playing somebody. I ain't got to talk about this with you. I ain't gonna sit around here talking about this stuff and talking about nothing. I ain't got time for that. Maryland playing somebody. Because Chris Nocky said something. Coach Nocky said something about Maryland playing. They get ready to go live. Who is the Terps playing? Because I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk.
All right, so let's just go somewhere else. I mean, let's talk about the Caps getting themselves back into a good spot. They've gotten Wilson and Backstrom back. They've kind of struggled a little bit. They brought up Alexi Prontis from Hershey. So, I mean, the Caps have potential to actually start moving up in the standings to get them a little bit better ceiling, but they're right now 4th in the Metro. So this team, as constructed, has a lot of talent to go around. And then since we want to stay in the Cap 1, talk about the Wizards real quick. I know you guys hate Brad Bill. They had a nice win last night against New York. The talk is Rui's the trade chip, but the only problem I have with this team and I said this to you guys, and I'll say it till I turn blue in the face. The only issue I have is their first round picks don't make impact. Like they've come in and they've been role players, but that's
when's the last time Washington had a first round pick that made an impact? Calbert Chaney,
Bill and Wall.
Bill and Wall. Well, yeah. Let me rephrase that because I don't want to say that they didn't make an impact. Bill and Wall, but before Bill and Wall,
right? I mean,
Calbert Chaney.
And how much of an impact did he really make?
If you would have had,
he got buried on that team with the bigs.
Yeah, if you would have had a different team, I'm sorry, if you would have had a different 2-guard in 96, somebody a little bit more explosive could give you maybe 20, 25 points a game. I think they would have took the Bulls at least 4 games.
But they didn't have that.
No. And they had a really, really, really well-constructed team in 96. Even MJ said if they keep this team together, they could be something special. What did they do?
They went out and traded people, and then they had the Juwan disaster where he signs with Miami after they lowball him. And then Washington has to take whatever the contract that Miami is because when Miami signed him, he was over the cap.
And it was illegal. So they had to void that. And they was like, well, they gave him 106. I think the Wizards gave him 107. And they were stuck with that contract until MJ came and found somebody to take that contract.
Yeah.
And MJ got rid of him. And he still wound up in Miami years later and won a championship, won 2 championships or 3. So, but the Wizards
shocked the world.
And speaking of which, Maryland beat the Wolverines tonight, 64-58.
But Maryland's been they sputtered down the stretch. They've been like 4-4 or 3-4. Well, actually, tonight makes them like 4-5 in their last 9.
Well, they 12-6. You know, all you got to do is win 16 games to make the 15 or 16 games to make the big dance. So that's why you schedule cupcakes the first 15 games. So you can get those 15 wins, you automatically get the bid. You
still got to be at least 500 in your conference. Well, you don't understand conference play. That's when you play teams in your conference and you actually beat them. So I'm sorry.
I'm just telling you what I was told by a great man.
I like that.
I had a great man tell me you don't
beat teams in your conference.
A great man told me when you coach in college basketball and you do your schedule, you put your schedule out for this year. You don't schedule no top. You don't schedule North Carolina and Duke within the first 3 games.
KG, I grew up at just because I have this Georgetown thing that I'm messing with you about. I study for the Thompson. I know how to steal a timeout when I'm coaching. I
don't know because I be wondering about you, man. I be wondering about you.
Only thing I didn't do was have a towel, but I stole it. Anytime it was a dead ball, my guards had to come. There was a rule. First day of practice. Anytime there's a foul situation and they're going to the free throw line, your first thing is to come to me. It's a rule. It's a George. I learned it. I learned it from the best. Even if there's a stoppage, hey, come, everybody come here. I got a couple delayed games. You know, trust me. I study at the foot of Thompson, but I'm just right now at this situation. I'm just
You ready to get away from the tree of Thompson?
To a degree, yes.
Okay. See now,
but everything is see when you have, and like Nebraska kind of went through this, or is going through this because they were at the foot of Osborne, and then once Osborne left, they've kind of struggled to get footing. If you go to Florida State, you talk about Bowden and his tree. As they tried to do things, they still struggled. Now, maybe they're on their way now because they're ranked 13 in the preseason poll, the way too early preseason polls, but maybe they're on their way coming back up. You think about Maryland with Freehage. They were winning perennial 10 games at a certain point. Now they can't win 10 games. And I'm going to go on the record now and tell you that I think that Mike Locksley should have people questioning him if he doesn't win 10 games next year because he's got a senior quarterback in a conference that he should be able to win ball games in. He plays Nebraska. He plays Illinois. I can't think of the rest of the schedule. Of course, they play like the Michigan, Ohio State, that triumvirate that they have in their division. That's their 3 losses to me. They should lose to anybody else in their division next year.
Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
Right. Those are the only 3 losses. That's the only 3 they should have. And I question the Penn State loss because Penn State had a 5th-year starter that's leaving, so they're going to have a new quarterback. So, and I don't trust Penn State quarterbacks. I understand the magic they worked with Bill O'Brien and Chris Hackenberg, but since Hackenberg, their quarterbacks have been trash.
When's the last time Penn State had a really, really good quarterback? What's the boy? Kerry Collins?
Probably. I mean, we're probably disrespecting somebody in the midst of that, but the one that stands out, yeah.
Well, if you take
Hackenberg was supposed to be the next best thing. Because I remember he was supposed to go to Notre Dame. We talked about him going to Notre Dame, but he didn't go. He ended up in Penn State, and he started as a freshman.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
My bad.
See, we talking college, and I see. I got to direct you away from certain things, and I like doing that. I like that redirect. So, thank you for joining us tonight. Man, this has been great. We got visitors from across the pond in England. Man, it felt good. Let's just say that it felt good to be back on the air and be back to do it again on Saturday for the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs. For the Midnight Rider, the boss BJ, who was in the text window, all the junkies on assignment. I'm the big guy KG. You already know the motto. We don't do no overtime.
We are out of here.
Go to bed.